Welcome to the bold analysis. Now there is a giant in the house, and I've always said that the main script, the handbook in William Ruto's desk to maintain his rule at the top of the things in this country is Kalenjin GEMA marriage. The tyranny of numbers. What was packaged as a cross demographics platform of campaign, that is the hustler movement of the bottom up, was a cover-up of a traditional political strategy that is yet to change in this country because of reality. That is what is called the tribal politics. I think when we say that election is free and fair, when we say that we are all united in supporting the hustler movement or supporting the bottom-up economic model, we are simply trying to reach out to everyone. But in real sense, when it comes to vote mobilization, we are actually mobilizing votes alongside the tribal lines. Now, this is the bitter truth, that in 2027 or in any future election, if the GEMA and the Kalenjin community are still going to stick together and coalesce around a specific candidate, then the opponents are still going to, that's where the main competitor will still belong. Whether he becomes number one or becomes number two, the main competitor will still be there. But I want to ask a question. Do you believe that for someone to wrestle power from William Ruto, should it take dismantling that GEMA-Kalenjin marriage? That's a bit tribal, but sad enough, that's the dominant narrative. Dominant, damaging narrative. It's very damaging. So in this video, I want to explain in details how exactly a rotational presidency narrative is a very delicate thing that can dismantle the GEMA-Kalenjin marriage. I am not saying that we should actually perpetuate the tribal politics, but sometimes we try to sugarcoat and insulate it. But in real sense, that is what our politics has been for the last 3 or 4 decades. I was in Jaramogi Oginga Odinga's home, and I spent time with the guys that manage those places. I went through the photos of Jaramogi from when Jaramogi was sworn in until he died. And then you vis-a-vis that, after the second liberation team, and look at, I don't know now, this is the third liberation team, economic liberation team, you will still see that at the end of it, the 1992 election was the cause for social justice. But again, it had to take Moi to impose the president, to impose Daniel, Mwai Kibaki, to vie for presidency so that they would divide votes with the other candidate, Kenneth Matiba, from GEMA. It had to take that. That interestingly tells you how our politics, and this is not something that started with the likes of William Ruto. This has been here. But the new narrative that has emerged is very delicate. Many people have seen it as heading to secession or so. But in this video, I want to confine myself to what would actually occasion the death of GEMA-Kalenjin, if still it exists. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also like our video. We are still continuing with the 50 shillings challenge. It's a challenge for us to buy another camera That camera is supposed to help us in doing exclusive interviews. We have an exclusive interview before the end of the month. I'm telling you, it's a high-profile interview. And we're really thanking God for those breakthroughs that are coming. And in that end, I'm also asking you guys in a special way, just help us donate as little as 50 bob so that we can buy that camera before the 23rd of this month. The number is up there, 0710 62 78 89. As of now, I think we are short with around 32,000, if I'm not wrong. I think we have reached for 33. We're at 47,000. It's not 32. We are now short of it with 33,000. And we're just reaching out in a special way that this will be one for us all. Because we want to make things better. We don't just want to stick to one style and one format. It really adds value to our viewers. And I also want to say thank you for those who've been supporting me. Guys, those who share these videos in your social media pages, asanteni sana. Rotational presidency narrative is delicate, dangerous, and I don't know, after William Ruto came to power, he actually employed scorched earth policy that was used agrarian revolution, is it Kitambo, where you would come and sweep so that to leave nothing behind. That's what has been happening. The scorched earth policy is what is been applying to occasion, at least as me kufe, these parties die, and that to remain with it. And I have listened to Johnson Mudhama talking about us going the CCM, is it Chama cha Maendeleo or Mapinduzi in Uganda, in Tanzania, where would actually perpetuate. If William Ruto says another person Tosha, I don't see him going to Western or Mombasa. He might probably maybe just go to another place in GEMA. This is the issue here. How this would actually break that marriage is because it will necessitate a regional balance and mainstreaming of development, which is a positive thing for this country, because when it's balanced, everyone feels he's part of government. But truth be told, the Mount Kenya leaders around William Ruto campaigned on the platform that the region was left behind, that the region was discriminated, despite the fact that they feel that Mount Kenya is the bedrock of our GDP, maybe because of population also. So what they would want is a situation where the region experiences some priority. You know, what Uhuru did, the best thing that former President Uhuru did in his second term is mainstreaming of development. That's the truth. Now, on the ground of mainstreaming developments is where the narratives of some projects. I listened to one of the politicians from that area saying that there was a road that was supposed to be constructed in Nyeri, and that money was diverted to Kisumu for some development project. And of course, this came in as a punching back to the president. That's why I normally say that people who say that Uhuru never supported Raila Odinga, those people normally lie. Uhuru did his best. And the support on Raila did not start at the vote. It started way back, even after that handshake. So the regional balance was equally important. Now that regional balance will actually make those people build mama rings and now start creating narratives. That William Ruto left that region. It must not come from the Gachagua. It can be a ground to be used by other people that want to wrestle power from the team, the Gachagua's camp. Now, there is what cemented the Ruto and the GEMA community. That was the clergy, the church. To my understanding, the church seems to have taken a stand that their stand on William Ruto was on spiritual grounds appointed by the God anointed. So they held their ground, but after this election, it so emerged that what was treated as a spiritual endorsement was actually a symbiotic relationship of getting something from the government. They have now pulled out an MOU that was released that they agreed with the president on what was to be done to them. So any quest for rotational presidency will lack a defense from the clergy, because even them, it doesn't hold. And when William Ruto loses the grip of the Central Kenya Church, that's what brings the end of that breakup. That's what brings that breakup. Now, what I'm waiting for to see is this. And this is one thing that shall create that rift. The revival of electoral injustice call will actually demand the voice of the church. And the quest for electoral injustice is not going to cut the tribal image. It's actually going to demand the voice of the church. And on this one, they will be needed to take a neutral stand. So what I'm saying, another way why the rotational presidency will actually break that is one of the reasons that is bringing the conversation of rotational presidency. It is precipitated by electoral injustice. If you ask someone, why is Raila not a president? I've never been a president. Raila have won elections in this country. Raila have lost elections in this country. Raila have influenced elections in this country. The only thing that has not happened is Raila have not become a president. So if you ask anyone that have been in the politics for the last 2 decades, a majority of viewers here, they will tell you that it's about the issue of electoral injustice. So it's dangerous because it is actually going to break that GEMA matrix, because it brings the question of electoral injustice. Electoral injustice was also cutting across the other people that believe that UDA might have influenced the Oster. So we have to look at it in a very manner. Lastly, the central activism by the Kenya Kwanza team will not hold any sense. That central activism can easily be neutralized, because again, it will not make any sense to be talking about the central Kenya so much while the rest of the country are also demanding the answers. And that is my bold.